This is the last time he will bathe in his life, because today he was going to die. The old man wanted to see a snowfall before he died. They take the phone and make snowflakes to make the summer less hot, and the old man smiled happily. In this hospital, all are patients with terminal cancer. The LAMP team, led by Roy. The team is dedicated to helping the dying man leave peacefully, and today their mission is to grant this old man his last wish, so that the old man could see a rainbow. So they took their water guns. They created a rainbow in the garden. The old man smiled a long-awaited smile. He took off his watch, which he had worn for half his life, and slipped it into Roy's hand.
내 시간은 끝났어.
I need you right now.
Hearing the old man's words, Roy's eyes reddened. It was a sign that the old man was gone. His time had come to an end, and the old man's greatest wish was to return home, to die where his wife was buried. So they called an ambulance. Lisa asked Roy why he was wearing a down jacket in the summer. Roy said the old man was looking forward to seeing snow in winter, to create a winter atmosphere. It was all they could do. Lisa then understood everything. They took the old man to the ambulance. The patients came in heavy clothes to see him off, and they had prepared some cakes. The old man could no longer stand up. They all felt like family at that moment. They spoke to the old man and said their farewell words. The old man waved goodbye to them as hard as he could, and this farewell was forever. Soon they were on the road to the old man's hometown. Roy kept talking to him, preventing him from actually falling asleep, and just then, they noticed that the old man's pulse was dropping rapidly. Anna kept calling out to the old man, but he didn't respond. What to do? The old man's last wish had not been granted. Anna immediately started to resuscitate him. Roy accelerated his speed. Suddenly a red car appeared. To avoid the enemy chase, the driver overtook the car directly and ended up stopping in the middle of the road. And Roy had no time to brake, had no choice but to turn the steering wheel urgently. He broke through the construction fence. He stopped the car. The old man's pulse had returned to normal after the bumpy ride, but Roy wasn't so lucky. His leg hit the fender in front of him, and the man was still worried about whether his dog was hurt. Roy limped out of the car in anger, because there was no way to keep driving. Without saying anything, pulled the man straight out of the car. The man had just broken free of Roy's grip, only to see his enemies coming after him. He had no choice but to take his luggage. He got into the car and became the driver of the ambulance. Seeing the enemy coming after him, he took out a pile of money and threw it out. He drove off in a hurry, and the crowd was trying to pick up the money, and also hindered their pace. And so, they went on to the old man's hometown. As the sun was going down, they finally arrived with the old man in tow. Roy laid out the tributes prepared by the sick men. The old man also lay on his wife's grave. At this moment, the old man wasn't afraid of death, for he would soon see his beloved wife. Seeing this scene, tears flowed out of their eyes. The old man touched his wife's tombstone with his hand. It was as if his wife was holding his hand at that moment.
혼자 많이 외로웠지. 이젠 같이 있을 수 있겠네.
The old man's wish came true. His eyes slowly closed. The hand that was touching the tombstone slipped away. Everyone understands that the old man is gone. He had left this world hand in hand with his partner. Soon after the funeral of the old man, his children showed up and blamed them for not taking their father to treatment. Instead, they were running around. That's when Roy came limping in. Said they were here because of the old man's inheritance. Didn't come even after all the usual phone calls. And that they were just jerks. The daughter-in-law then saw Roy with his father-in-law's watch on his hand. Said he had the cheek to take the dead man's things. Looking at these ungrateful children, Roy explained to them that it had been given to him by the old man. Roy said angrily that they were a bunch of scumbags who were no better than trash. Then he turned and walked away. He let them go on with their nonsense.